I believe that a big thing which needs to be advocated for is the increasing price when it comes to university and college and higher education. As a student myself, when it comes to the rising prices and the percentages of the tuition in universities and colleges is beginning to go up, where there's a study shown that in from 2015 to 2016 that the percentages went up around 2.3 to 3.5%, and it is going up with every single year, which is making it difficult for people to be able to afford it, including their cost of living, which a lot of college students are working their way through school. They are also a lot of the times paying for a place to live, especially if they're in a foreign country. And so the cost of living and daily living expenses, such as having their car, having their apartment, and a lot of times having to move in with roommates, as well as having to pay for everything that comes with the colleges that isn't included in their expenses, in their tuition, such as the cost of books, the parking permits, and then also the programs which are included when it comes to doing their homework. How some professors have it where you have to pay for the book in order to have access to programs to do the homework, which normally wouldn't be an issue since some college students are able to get books from a different way, from having them borrowed, from renting them for a lower price. With the inclusion of the programs, it's now making it even more difficult for them to find a way to get them at a more discounted price. There's also the locations of these schools, since a lot of them, especially the ones in big cities, have a landscaping that isn't really very much other than a couple of trees, some grass, and it is very important for people's mental health to be able to go out, to be able to see nature and have some time for themselves, which is difficult to do when you're living in a big city and don't have access to a lot of those places. So it would be best for colleges to put more money towards that, as well as financial aid. And then when it comes to financial aid, sometimes it takes into consideration the amount of money that families would be paying towards their child's education. But a lot of the time, when you include the income of these parents, they aren't actually giving a lot of money or as much money as they're predicting in order to be able to pay for this, since some are truly living paycheck to paycheck, especially with the growing costs in the economy, and they aren't able to afford to give any money to the students that are going into higher education. And the higher education is needed because employees are now starting to put more reliance on getting degrees, on getting diplomas, on getting different titles in order to be able to have access to do the jobs which people are having to take out loans for and having to pay a lot of student loans throughout their entire lifetime, and in order to be able to get a job and to be able to live their life, which is why I think that there should be more financial aid used, more government money, and that there should be less of a cost to get a higher education.